sticky sauce, ribs, you can never go wrong. But these ribs, they are a bit more intriguing than usual. Do I have sauce on my face now? I've probably got sauce on my face, right? This is my version of Singapore's coffee ribs. So when I first heard of coffee ribs, I was like, what are coffee ribs? I mean, that sounds awesome. I love coffee. I love ribs. Dax, what did you think? Coffee ribs? Were you like, yeah, hell yeah? Or were you like,
I was going to say, yeah, they're amazing, but we haven't had them yet.
So coffee ribs are...
Make me act, Marion. Damn you.
Give me something, Dax. So coffee ribs are a specialty in Singapore. You might not have heard about them if you live outside of Singapore, which is most of you. So let's get in here, make these things so you guys can see what all the fuss is about. Now, I'm starting off with a marinade. And oh, did I mention we're using an air fryer today? That's fun too. Anyway, marinade. We need some oyster sauce and some soy sauce, Chinese 5-spice. Now, bicarb soda, which you might think is a little bit odd, but this marinade, when you combine all the ingredients together, forms this really lovely light coating on your ribs that gets kind of like all crispy and golden when you air fry them. So pretty cool. Now I also need some corn flour. That's also going to give us that wonderful texture that we're after. And I need an egg, salt, and some pepper. I just whisk that together, and you can see we've sort of got this light batter texture. So that's exactly what we want. Now the ribs. Just want to cut them into individual ribs here. And then they go into the batter slash marinade. Mix them around. And now these just need an hour for that marinade to do all its work. So that means we've got plenty of time to make our sticky coffee sauce. So just get your heat on, and I need some barbecue sauce here. You could find an Asian barbecue sauce, but this is actually just a standard like supermarket barbecue sauce. We're gonna add lots of other flavors here. The main thing is that you want it kind of sweet and tangy. Some honey and a little dash of water here as well. I also need some brown sugar, some rice wine vinegar, some Chinese Shaxing wine, some soy sauce, some dark soy sauce. And then the last thing I need is obviously some coffee for my coffee sauce. Now I'm using an instant coffee here, and then let that simmer away for about like 5 minutes or so. Things will start to get a little bit thick and syrupy. Such an odd ingredient to use for cooking. It's like sort of like reminiscent of coffee. I wouldn't say you taste it and you're like, oh, coffee, but it's cool. It adds a slight bitterness, I think. All right, so this sauce is looking pretty good. This is the kind of texture that you're after. It's syrupy, not too thick at this stage though. It'll thicken up later when we put the ribs in it. Now let's get our ribs. So these are my ribs that have had their time to marinate, and I'll just give them a quick mix again. Now traditionally you would cook these in some hot oil, but I am gonna use my air fryer today. Less mess, but the trick here is to make sure you don't overcrowd your air fryer basket. So if you have to do it in batches, that's cool, just don't overcrowd things. And that way you're gonna get the crispiest, most lovely golden texture. Now these just go into my air fryer, 10 minutes at 180 Celsius. All right, let's go check out our pork ribs. And I mean, this color is so cool. They look amazing. Lovely golden crispiness. This is exactly what I wanted. And you can see how that really light batter slash marinade business has formed such a nice, very thin coating on the outside of the ribs. That's really important because that is gonna like suck up all of that really beautiful sauce. So turn your sauce back on and ribs go in. And now toss them around until that sauce gets really thick and sticky. So as far as rib recipes go, I mean, this one is really easy. Don't have a long cook time or anything like that. And look how sticky and lush that looks. Oh, so cool. I'm gonna get these out onto a tray. Final little bits here, some sesame seeds, some sliced chili, and some coriander. And I mean, look at that. Look at that, look at those ribs. They're so amazing. I love that. They're just so shiny and sticky. That color, that deep mahogany color is so cool. They smell amazing. This sauce smells so good. The flavor is literally like no other kind of rib dish, right? Like usually with ribs, you've got really sweet, mainly like sauces that go with it, but This has a salty bitter flavor, still like a sweet undertone, but it's just so like interesting. I love it, I love it. And you can't really put your finger on that coffee flavor. It kind of tastes a little smoky and barbecuey, but with a slight bitterness. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, guys, I would highly recommend trying this out. You can't even get a real sense of what they taste like until you actually taste them. I am happy to eat a few of these. Hey friends, if you like sticky ribs as much as I do, then why not hit the subscribe button and that little bell, and I promise you I will make more ribs very soon.